Welcome, friends. I have made this playlist in my channel, Finance Basics. I will be posting videos into this playlist regularly on topics that deal with finance. The objective is to share knowledge on the basics of finance and finance concepts. I hope you will all find it interesting and useful. So when I say finance, a very interesting conversation I had with a friend of mine several years ago comes to my mind. My friend said, Murthy, you chartered accountants deal with figures, but your figures have no curves. I thought it's a very uncharitable remark on finance, which is a very exciting field. And I replied to him saying that, look, curves like beauty are in the beholder's eyes. What I meant was, you have to look at the finance numbers or data with the right level of interest, frame of mind, and you will find it very exciting. That's what I would say to you now. Friends, finance is a very exciting field of study and something which is necessary for everyone, whether it is a finance professional or an individual, whether in personal life or in corporate life. Having said this, finance is a very wide area of study. Like medicine or engineering, it has several specializations and super specializations. Though, of course, in a common person perspective, finance is understood in a very narrow sense. I thought that it's important for us to have an understanding of this wide scope of finance, and therefore wanting to speak about the wide scope of finance in this video, which is, of course, an introductory video to what is to follow in the next series of videos. So to assist us in this conversation about scope of finance, I have made a small presentation which I will share with you. Please bear with me. Yes. Yes, we are here. As I said, finance is a wide field, and it could include different, what I would say, different areas which are disciplines in themselves. So I made a small list. We have, as an example, public finance, which deals with the government revenues, government expenditures, how the government would be financing its projects, etc. And the example that I can give here is the annual budgets that we all eagerly wait to know about the government's plans for the next year. So that's coming under the domain of public finance. Personal finance, something which with which we're all familiar, that deals with our own incomes, our savings, our investments, ensuring the long-term financial security, retirement planning, instruments of investment such as mutual funds, etc. That's all comes under personal finance. Social finance is about the cooperatives, the financial matters of cooperatives, of charitable organizations, those that trigger the welfare of the society, and that comes under social finance. Behavioral finance deals with the cognitive and the psychological dimensions of financial decision making, either as individuals or as corporate managers. And finally, corporate finance. So I kept corporate finance in the end because that's the topic that I will be speaking about in the next few slides and in the subsequent videos that I'll be posting to this playlist. Corporate finance deals with the business finance, the finance of business organizations. I may say here that these are highly specialized areas, though of course some concepts may be applicable to all the areas. So let's get into corporate finance. So the corporate finance, or the finance of business organizations, deals with a number of areas that typically in an organization the finance departments deal with. So one is accounting, which deals with again 3 areas of accounting. There is a specialization within accounting. Financial accounting, which deals with the information requirements of external shareholders, such as investors, shareholders, the lenders, financial institutions, bankers, suppliers, and customers. Both of them are interested in the financial stability of the organization, and they get the requisite information and idea from the data which goes from financial accounting. The second is cost accounting, which is concerned with the analysis of the costs of the organization and furnishing information to the managers about the costs that they are driving to help them improve their operational efficiencies from a cost perspective. Then we have management accounting. Management accounting is, I would say, something which draws the information from both financial accounting and cost accounting, and with the objective to assist the management in taking decisions. So we have several situations in business organizations where managers have to take decisions. For example, should we manufacture within, or should we purchase it from outside? Should we export, or should we sell it within the country? Should we operate the plant or shut the plant? So there are various other business decisions that have to be taken. Management accounting organizes the information so as to assist the managers to take these decisions. So as I said, accounting itself is a very wide and highly specialized field. Financial account deals with, financial accounting is the domain of chartered accountants. Cost accounting is the domain of cost accountants. Management accounting is the domain of management accountants. Of course, There is an overlap between these three, and some knowledge exists in all the three professions. But having said that, at a deeper level, these are all specialized areas. Then, of course, your finance department or the finance function is concerned with auditing. Auditing itself could be of different kinds. Statutory audits are those audits which are mandated by the law, Companies Act to be precise, and of course, any other act for that matter, very commonly Companies Act. There's a lot of finance inputs that go into the audits. In fact, audit itself is a dimension of the finance function. And statutory audit deals with all those requirements which the law stipulates. Internal audit is something which the management is interested in, asks for an internal audit to satisfy itself that the operations are, from a financial point of view, going all right, with no diversion of funds or ensuring that the internal controls are in place. And tax audit is something which happens under the Income Tax Act or under the GST Act. And forensic audit is concerned with detection and the root causes of frauds and scams. We are familiar with so many frauds now. These are something which are investigated through a forensic audit. And there are various other audits. Then one of the very important functions of finance is to raise money. And to raise money, there are various options. Money could be raised from by way of share capital from the owners, or by way of loans, long-term loans from the financial institutions, or short-term loans from the banks, or supplier credits, or money can be raised even internationally. So these are all again specialized areas of knowledge and application, which of course the finance function deals with. Investing, every business has to invest money in fixed assets. Fixed assets create the production capacity for the organization. So where to invest, when to invest, these are all investment questions which finance answers. Similarly, from a day-to-day management point of view, every organization needs working capital, which is a short-term finance to fund its current assets. So these are all coming under the domain of investing activities. So as they say, you cannot manage what you don't measure, and therefore you need data and information. One of the functions of finance is management reporting. And we all hear about management information systems, daily data, daily information, weekly information, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, so on and so forth. So various management information related reports that are generated by the finance department as part of its MIS role. And management needs this to manage the organization or to manage individual departments. Departmental heads need this information. Of course, the finance manager himself needs this information to gauge the health of the organization. Where is it headed? Then we have the budgets. Budgets are planning documents. They are control documents. Every organization needs to plan, make its financial plans for the future periods of time. And these plans or budgets also help us in the control process to ensure that things happen as envisaged in the organizations. So these are all again a very important facet of the finance function. So we have the taxation, which again is under the domain of finance. We have direct taxes like the income tax. We have the indirect taxes like the goods and services tax, GST. So the maintenance of records, the computation of liability, the filing of returns, the annual audits under these legislations, these are all coming under the domain of taxation. In fact, many decisions relating to corporates, mergers, acquisitions, overseas investments are all a function of the tax regulatory framework, the tax laws, which is a very specialized area of knowledge. And of course, the finance function also includes ensuring compliances, like the Companies Act stipulates maintenance of certain records, maintenance of accounts, furnishing of accounts to the government bodies such as the Registrar of Companies, etc., labor laws, and various other laws. So finance function is also dealing with these compliances, to which extent a finance manager needs to understand these laws to be able to comply with those laws. So if you are now visualizing your organization, an organization or your organization, and you have a finance department, you would understand the various things that your finance department is doing on a day-to-day basis. And that's the important role of finance in organizations. So yeah, this is again just to reiterate what has already been stated, but to look at it from the perspective of the finance role as scorekeeper, as a commentator, as a diligent caretaker or a trustee of the financial assets of the organization. The finance role is day by day getting more and more strategic. The CFO, or the though of course it is in the slide it is said as CFO, the finance manager or the finance department as a whole partners with the CEO or the various managers. So this is all the trajectory of the enhancing role of the finance function, from scorekeeping to commentator to diligent caretaker to business partner. So friends, this lays the foundation for what we are going to discuss in the future videos. I hope you appreciate the multifaceted role of the finance function. And thank you very much for watching this video. And I hope you have found it interesting. And I will be coming back to you with a lot more finance concepts and finance knowledge in the subsequent videos. And I've given you my details there. You're welcome to be in touch with us. You can visit my website, www.rsrassociates.com. My contact details are available. You're welcome to be in touch with me. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Have a good day, and all the best to you.